Hey, Dallas. What,
Yes.
D- bro? We had those episodes. I had Temple of Doom. I had
Yeah.
Suburban Command. Where are they? Like all the
They're in the database over.
no, all the databases.
But
Like seriously, all we have, like everything from Bloodsport to now is gone.
what the crap?
Something's eating.
John, what's out the window, John?
It's
What?
like it's like a giant spaceship is it affixed itself to the space station.
What is that? Why is it crawling through the ship?
I,
Move! Get out the way! What is happening?
does the Federation not pay for exterminators?
I don't know what's happening here. There's got to be a. Let me go check the files. There's
Glicks, you cheap garbage.
what? I found something. It's a in case of emergency from Kevin. It's a movie. Here, hold this box for me. It says in case of emergency of something eating your files, feed it this. What?
No.
Prepare yourself to discover a world of terrible movies. High above the planet Geekery, a group of intrepid explorers hover over the dangerous planet in their fabulous superorbital spacecraft. Their mission? To conduct a complete analysis of movies known throughout the universe as terrible. So grab your space popcorn, grab your freeze-dried ice cream, and join us for today's mission of discovery and wonder. Are these movies better than the galaxy thinks? Or do they really belong on the bottom shelf?
Hello, movie lovers and movie haters. Welcome to the bottom shelf, a place where every movie has a place on the shelf. My name is Dallas. I'm so glad to have you guys with us. This is an extension of Geek Devotion, the show from Devoted Geeks, our devoted, let know you're loved. If you don't watch past the moment, knows this. We love you. We care about you. There is a plan and purpose for your life. And ladies and gentlemen, there is a giant creature sucking the life out of everything I love.
Dallas, my name is John. Just stop.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, John, how's it going?
All right, there you go.
John, we have a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, we do. We have to watch this movie.
Yeah, so apparently it's this creature's eating the data out of our computers, and we have to feed it some sort of movie. What is this movie, John? What does the box say?
It's
War of the Worlds. This can't be bad. It's War of the Worlds.
well, it's not.
Here, let me read the box. Give this here. Give me the box. Since you're having a coughing fit.
I'm sorry. It's just it smelled like doo doo.
Oh man. Ooh, why is it sticky? All right, the back of the box says a colossal invasion of Earth is coming in this off-kilter take on the legendary novel of the same name, filled with present-day themes of technology, government surveillance, and privacy. Did ChatGPT write this? What is happening
I
here?
mean, no, because then that would be ChatGPT writing about itself.
I don't know. What?
And no one would be foolish enough to make AI self-aware, right?
No, never. Look at the database and tell us what this movie's really about.
Okay. Once upon a time in the project room of Rich Lee, he found himself pushing the weight of the COVID era. He thought it might be a good idea. Yeah, let's try this again because words are hard. He thought it would be a good day to say hello to the cinema world with a remake of the classic H.G. Wells property, War of the Worlds. It was no summer vacation as he brought in Ice Cube, who wished he had taken his mother's advice and go to church rather than work with Ava Longoria, and the colorblind Clark Gregg in this Zoom-inspired film that made $100 bill, y'all. Though it was going to be a great CIA deep state commentary, instead it didn't stay true to the game and was a wicked rendition of a sci-fi classic, leaving audiences going, thank God it's over. Bro, did you intentionally slip in a bunch of Ice Cube references through that?
Yeah.
I'm sitting here catching all these Ice Cube song titles, and while I'm reading this, for those y'all out in listener land, Dallas wrote that intro to the movie, and this is my first time reading it, if you couldn't tell. And Ice Cube's like one of my favorite rappers, and I'm sitting here seeing all these references, and I'm like, I'm not sure if this is intentional. I don't know if Dallas knows Ice Cube like that.
I don't. I had a window open with all of his songs listed.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to do that for you because I knew you would appreciate it.
Hey, well, I did. I caught all of that. I was actually pretty impressed with throwing in Wicked in there because that's a little bit more of a deep cut.
Oh my gosh. All right, so we're reviewing a movie, as you guys can tell, is not going to be pretty, apparently. John, do we have any trivia on this film?
I mean, we have some in the database, but some of these read more like excuses than they do trivia. But let's try, shall we?
All right.
Okay, says here first mentioned in 2020 as an untitled Bro, how do you say dude's name? Bekmambetov feature starring Ice Cube for Universal. It resurfaced in July 2025 when it was released straight to streaming as a free movie on Amazon Prime. It was not even screened for critics. Universal were sold on the movie by a pitch from Bekmambetov, who had acted as producer on successful films in this format, where he explained it would allow them to sell it as a high budget science fiction movie, but produce it for the cost of a cheap TV thriller.
Interesting.
The character of William Radford was originally written to be a paraplegic to fit with the themes of COVID and people being glued to their screens. But the director was impressed by the intensity of Ice Cube's chair throwing that he rewrote the character to match. So if you can throw a chair in Hollywood, you can change a script.
So Tom Cruise in every single Mission Impossible movie?
I mean, after Homeboy jumped up on Oprah's chairs, he hasn't gone without a paycheck. I'm just saying.
That's true.
Filmed in the summer and fall of 2020 under COVID-19 protocols. All right, that I'm not sure if that's a selling point, guys. And then finally, one of the names of Williams' team's display is Orson G. Wells, an homage to Orson Welles and H.G. Wells. Because
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't.
All right. Well, through the magic of podcasting, we have community outreach, and we had one person reach out and say this. Oh boy, I saw the trailer and fearfully ran away. You guys ran towards it like firefighters to an inferno. You have my eternal gratitude. J.S. Earls.
It is a thankless job, sir, but we do this for the community.
We do this for you guys. All right. John, what are your expectations for this film?
To be honest, when I first heard about this, I didn't even know this movie was a thing. Time I even heard about this movie was when I pulled up YouTube one day and I saw the poster on some reactors channel talking about this movie, and it said Ice Cube, War of the Worlds, and I kind of chortled to myself because that combination didn't make sense. But then I started seeing more people posting stuff about it, so I watched one of the reactors and I said, oh. So I don't have high expectations for this. Like, I was hearing reactions to it long before the reactions I've been hearing towards it were my first indication that this movie even existed. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Cool. My expectations.
Yeah. How about you?
Well, first off, please note, I'm a fan of the IP of War of the Worlds. I read the book years ago when I was a wee lad. The audio drama is, to me, a historical phenomenon. It is fascinating what took place when the audio drama hit the airwaves and the panic that ensued as the story was unfolded. And if you go back and listen to the actual audio drama, which you can find in places like YouTube and whatnot, it's fascinating. It really is fascinating to listen to. And if you put yourself in the mindset of a person that age when they're just flipping on the radio and they're listening to it and they're missing the constant announcement saying, this is a fictional story, you can get the vibe of why this was crazy for people. I like the movie from the 60s, or not 60s, like the 50s, whatever it was. That was cool. There hasn't been a lot of things done right with this in the future. But when I saw it, I was like, okay, cool. I want to watch this. And I think Celeste was recording an episode of We Read Allegedly when I saw it. And I almost watched it. And I was like, no, I'm going to wait for Celeste. So
I'm sure she was glad that you waited for her.
Oh yeah, well here's the deal because cards on the table. I watched it, so my expectations this round is not much better than after I watched it the first time.
Yeah, well, all
So
right.
those are my expectations. So yeah, so those are our expectations. Want to hear from you guys if you're listening.
So bleak, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Want to know what your expectations are, audience, about this film? I would love to have the experience take place. Pause this podcast. Go watch this. It's on Amazon Prime. It may be on YouTube somewhere. I don't know, but I know it's on Amazon Prime. Come back.
For God's
After you
sakes,
watch it.
don't spend money to watch it.
No, make sure you have Prime membership. But pause this. Send us a message. Hit us up in the Geek Devotions Discord or on the Bottom Shelf social media platforms. We're on Facebook and we're on Instagram. And let us know your expectations before you watch it. And then come back and enjoy the experience with us as we review it. John, are you ready for this hair-raising, exciting adventure we're about to go on?
I mean, are we ever ready for anything ever?
I mean, I have Tums.
Dear listeners, this is your opportunity to escape. Our crew has just ventured into the media projection chamber. What horrors and madness that they consume are unknown. Their mental state upon their return is unknown. You have been warned.
So that was a movie.
You remember in not Ghostbusters, in Super Mario Brothers 3, when you would go to the Toad house and it was basically like a giant random number generator?
Yeah.
And, you'd have to hit the box and whatever you hit, like you got, but it was like constantly just cycling through different things.
Yes.
That's how I feel about this movie right now. Does that make sense?
Okay.
It's like at any given moment, I feel something different about this movie.
I understand that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to the show, you're joining us as we relaunch the show. Typically what we do is we give our spoil-free thoughts, and then we have a little moment and we give our spoiled thoughts. So here in a second, we're about to explain to you some things about that we liked, didn't like. John just told you one thought. John, I want to share this with you. I busted this out today. This is the birthday gift my sister gave me, which was a binder that you can't see on screen. Not a binder. It's a literal logbook for watching TV and films. And so I have a whole section of notes, opinions, all kinds of stuff. So shout out to Damara for helping me stay focused with the bottom shelf today. John, what are your spoil-free thoughts on the film?
Stock footage.
Holy crap. First thing I have listed down here is, are they using iStock videos?
Stock footage. This is like stock footage, the movie.
Like, for reals. Like, were they trying to get a sponsorship from one of those other stock video places out there? I don't know.
I made a comment to you when we were watching this movie, and I had said, like, this is like, I had the biggest thought, like, this was supposed to be a War of the Worlds remake or re-envisioning, but honestly, it watches a lot more like a remake or a modern retelling of Plan 9 from Outer Space.
That is an accurate description.
Because there's a whole lot of react to this thing off camera and then show stock footage.
One of the worst things about this film is the entire time, again, it's through, for context, when you're watching this film, guys, Ice Cube is basically watching his monitor, and it's on TeamViewer, Zoom, and something else, Microsoft Teams. And he's wearing glasses. At one point in time, he's reacting something terrifying in one of the windows on his screen, and the reflection of the green screen is still in his eyeglasses.
I mean, for me, Ice Cube's the GOAT, right? Like, he's a rap legend in my book. Always has been, always will be.
Totally respect.
And it's because it's Ice Cube that I can't see him as a computer hacker extraordinaire. Like, I'm sorry, Cube. It's nothing on you, man. I think you're a smart guy. I've listened to a lot of your lyrics. I've gotten a lot of wisdom from them. But there was some hacker doo-doo that fell out of your mouth in this movie, bro. And
it's not his. He was playing the script that was given to him.
I know, but like he put it out in the most unbelievable way too. Like a lot of the lines felt like they were ADR and delivered flat. I mean, if
Mhm.
I'm being honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Now, let's be fair with that. As we said, this was COVID years, following COVID restrictions, meaning
Mhm.
there was no acting with other people. It was
I
all spliced together. I
And I
mean,
that like I was a voice actor in Supersonic Pod Comics, and if anybody was a part of that experience when that happened, we voice acted together in that either. That was all
yeah, yeah.
pieced together outside of that. So like I have a special appreciation for how this movie was probably pieced together,
Mhm.
but I think it could have been done better because the like there and maybe I'm tipping my hand a little bit here, but there is a lot of stuff that I think that the Supersonic crew probably could have done better.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong there, John. Speaking of the acting, there was an inconsistency in things as far as tone throughout the entirety of the film.
For
Like there were
sure.
moments where it's like they were trying to be funny and then they weren't, and just and then like timing was thrown off throughout the entirety of the film. There are moments that like they're giving you so much information, like there's no way this is real time because like the film is meant to be real time.
Mhm.
But then they're giving you things. I'm like, this isn't real time. Like, there's no way that major military operations are rolling out this
That
quickly or
fast.
in
I
this
had the same
fashion.
thought. Like there was stuff that was happening that was supposed to be like 20 minutes apart, and there's other stuff that is just like this, like a couple hours later, and it's just
Yeah,
like the concept of time goes out. Like time is an abstract concept in this movie.
yeah, yeah. And we'll get into some of that here in a little bit. But it
I,
was just
it,
the
it was
timing
writ-
was bad.
it was written by a dog who was homesick for their owner.
That's a great way to put it. That is legitimately a great way to put it. Oh my gosh, dude. I have thoughts, and I have one thought that's spoil free, but I'm gonna save it for my review at the end.
Okay.
I don't know if I could talk much more about this film and it not be spoiler. So, do you have anything else you want to add?
I mean, nothing that I couldn't probably say on the spoiler side of things to free things up for conversation.
Let's jump over there.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the spoiler section.
Every time I hear that bumper, I expect Celeste to start singing "It Had to Be You."
Funny. Oh man. All right, so laying out the spoiler side of things, throughout the entirety of the film, Ice Cube plays a CIA operative who's in charge of like this supercomputer. And basically, if you are you familiar with persons of interest, John?
Yeah.
It's basically that, where basically he has access to everybody's digital devices and he's tracking people, he's cataloging people.
Yeah, it's Watch Dogs, the movie.
Yeah. And so he's doing all this. And at the same time, there is this subplot about this super hacker who's trying to get information they're trying to lock down. And there's this whole thing, and it's a myth, but we're real active in trying to catch this guy who's after a myth about a super high tech intelligence source that is out there this hacker's trying to get. So that's a subplot that happens. At the same time, Ice Cube is playing the grieving, absent, near absentee, hyper focused father. It's weird. He's in both at the same time. Like, like he's hyper focused and like monitoring his children all the time to the like creepy thing. Like he's looking at his daughter's refrigerator through her Samsung camera.
He's a helicopter deadbeat.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. A helicopter deadbeat. Like Black Hawk Down crashed and got back up and limped along. Like that's what he's doing here. And just the tone of things that they're hand fisting this like super like, oh, he's a hurt father, and like they're trying to rebuild the relationship while they're also like plugging in a lot of like government conspiracy stuff in there that doesn't even make sense to a conspiracy theorist. Like that's the entirety of the film.
You sound mad, bro. You need a hug?
A taco is what I need.
Well, who doesn't?
I know, right? So, I don't know, man. It's just so like this past summer, I had our students at my church do. We did a film school with students. I had them do a challenge where they had to make a mini series, and we spun like this wheel of genres, and they end up having to create. This is what the wheel gave them: a post-apocalyptic zombie office style show.
Okay.
And they did it. And it was, again, these are 13. The youngest person was 12. The oldest person was 15. And they're barely learning how to use camera work and stuff like that. And what they produced was better than this. As far as storytelling and tone.
Okay. You sound mad, bro.
It's just frustrating because I'm like, why did we resurface this in 2025?
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, I mean, when I was watching this movie, I started kind of follow you down that dark rabbit trail. I put on my Plan 9 from outer space goggles watching this movie. And this movie has the potential to be a new so bad it's good cult classic. Like I said it, I don't remember if I was on mic when I had said it earlier, but I have a feeling this movie is going to sweep the Razzies this year. And I wish the Razzies were televised because I'd love to watch that.
I don't know. I'm not sure this is going to make that level.
You don't think it swings back around again to so bad it's good?
It would have to be a group experience type of movie for it to be that way. Like, the concept of, here's the thing that really ticks me off. The concept of it, of all these pieces come together, it's actually not a bad concept. And what frustrates me the most is I was going to do this. I had this in my head already of doing something like this several years ago. It was a project I had back in my head I was going to do, and I never did it. And I'm seeing it out like this. I'm going, this could have been better. And again, some of it's just I have a lot of love for the property of H.G. Wells of War of the Worlds. In the execution of it, like in War of the Worlds, it's an expansive thing. This takes time. And there's this whole thing where the aliens, they succumb to the natural habitat of Earth. They can't survive in our planet. And it's following a guy who's surviving this, and he's experiencing humanity in a different way. He's growing as he encounters different people as humanity survives.
Mm-hmm.
This movie literally is framed within an hour and a half, but not at the same time. And there's the gravitas just isn't there. And it frustrates me that they took a wonderful piece of fiction that was like, it genuinely shook people at one point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And then they did this. Like Tom Cruise did better than this.
Let me ask you this, Dallas, being as we're into opinions and really hypotheticals.
Mm-hmm.
Do you even think that War of the Worlds can be redone at this point in history in any meaningful kind of way that can resonate with people on a fresh level? Or is it just too familiar of a story to even really be done well anymore? Because there's some stories that are out there. Like another good one would be Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Mm-hmm.
Where the story's been done so many times that the story beats, and is it even possible to make it feel fresh at this point?
Right. And I'm with you on that conversation point, on the fact that it has been done a lot. I know the beats the story, but how to put this, you bring somebody fresh who's never seen, has no idea about that property, I'm not sure they could rock with this. The fact that it sits at a 2.5 on IMDb, the fact that it has a 6 on Metacritic, like these are some low numbers, bro.
And for the people out there who aren't as familiar with Metacritic, that's 6 on a scale of 1 to 100. That's not 6 out of 10.
Yeah. If it was 6 out of 10, that's a whole nother we've done 6 out of 10s, and we're like, oh man, like we could rock with it.
Yeah.
But just the execution was rough all the way through. The way that even like the inconsistency in the way of the camera work, that was frustrating me also. You had this moment, like they're running back and forth, and like the aliens are like, they're dropping stuff and everything like that. And there's this one field agent, and she has her camera up, and she's like, look at this. And again, it was already choppy the way she was going back and forth, flipping the camera back and forth. But then as things are hitting the fan, it just flips back to her going, oh crap. And it flips back to the thing. Like that shot going back and forth is an intentional thing you would normally do with a normal setup when you're trying to do a third person situation. But that breaks the world of what they're doing, of we're filming this on personal devices. And again, that's part of my frustration of it, is that you're trying to frame a world, you're trying to frame a mindset that's a very cool concept, actually, of going through everyone's personal devices, using Zoom, using TeamViewer, which again, you can't use any of these devices on any of these software on government facility devices, but you can use WhatsApp. And that's a joke for people. The And again, so you had this idea, but the way they did the camera work is like they couldn't make up their mind if they wanted to do it. I'm like, just commit to it if they're going to do it.
Yeah, really, they set out to try to make Cloverfield,
Yes.
and what we ended up getting was a made-for-TV Amazon Prime infomercial.
Yes. That it was literally they saved the world by ordering a USB on Amazon Prime. Literally, that's how they saved the world. Jeff Bezos saves the world with his air delivery.
That they no longer offer.
It just didn't make sense, John.
It's product placement, my guy. There were shots on the news where if you're to the funniest part, like you can tell a movie's cheap when this happens, but most people will never notice because you look where you're supposed to. In the action sequences, when you're watching things in this movie, or especially like when you're seeing like action sequence being shown on news feeds, right? What they do is they render the main objects of action with a lot of detail. Like say for instance, a fighter jet and an alien spacecraft in this movie.
Right.
But if you pay attention to the stuff that's happening around it, like the buildings that are going past it, or just things like that, you'll notice that they ended up showing up without enough motion blur. And if you looked directly at them, they looked very much like a computer rendering of the side of a building from a PS2 game. Like, for real, there was a couple times where the buildings moving past the camera truly reminded me of the building at the end of Batman 89, that they dropped the Joker from.
I have a literal note in this book that says, why does my PS1 game look better than some of these scenes?
Like the special effects in this movie are so inconsistent. Like there's times where it's passable, and then there's times where it's just like, did I set a high score?
Yeah. Again, this was such a great concept. And I want to put that out there. This was a great concept, but the execution was so sloppy. Like you said, like the graphics were so inconsistent throughout the entirety of the film. There are moments where like, okay, all right, we can rock with this. And then there are times I'm like, what are we doing?
And I think like I said, it's kind of a little Easter egg for people to go back and listen to the episode again, when I had mentioned in the trivia that some of the points of trivia really felt like, hey, let me explain, rather than bits of trivia. More specifically, the one where it said Universal were sold on this movie, where the guy had explained that it would allow them to sell this as a high budget science fiction movie, but produce it for the cost of a cheap TV thriller. And it's just like, bro, you get what you pay for, my guy.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I mean, if you learn anything when you first get out of college, it's that you pick and choose what you're going to pinch your pennies on, you know? I mean, you save money on you buy cheap food. You don't buy cheap toilet paper. You know what I mean?
right. Exactly. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh, all right. Any other spoil-filled stuff?
I mean,
was there anything redemptive about the stuff? I've said that the storyline was conceptually cool.
Well, I mean, it depends on how far you want to take it with redemptive. Like I said, once I started to appreciate it for how bad it was, I learned to enjoy it on that level. But I will say this movie did produce one very immersive effect for me after it was over with, that I thought was really neat, although I don't necessarily think it was intentional on the movie maker's part. In that, as soon as I was done with this movie, like I was having a hard time remembering it, like the aliens were sucking the information out of my brain.
Well, all right.
Like for real. No, let me show you, Dallas. Do you remember specific scenes in this movie? Like if I was to say, hey, tell me about a specific scene in this movie, how many of those can you do?
Probably 3 or 4, but partially because they just ran together. I think that's the other part. There was really no distinction between acts. It just ran together.
Now, I'm going to ruin this one step further in the most awesome way for you, Dallas.
Okay.
if they were to program this movie to show subtitles and just play MIDI music over the top of it so you can't hear the voices, and it were to pause at the end of each line, this would instantly turn into one of those anime visual novels you can buy for like $3 on your PlayStation. Because it's constantly the same character just sitting there staring directly into the camera saying their line.
It's all the cutscenes. Press A to continue. Turn the page after the beep.
I'm telling you, man, it literally is a video game visual novel, is what it is. I mean,
You're not wrong. Oh my gosh. Yep, that's a thing.
Like literally, if you think about it, you could take the parts where it's him working through his computer desktop screen, make those the interactive portions of the game itself, and just leave everything else like an FMV. And it would be 100% an easy transfer into an FMV video game.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Amazon, I'll charge you only $60 for a consulting fee for that idea. I mean, for real.
Give him a call. Come on, Amazon. Come on, Bezos. All right, I'm not sure I have anything else I can add to this conversation.
It's all right. Like I said, this movie is quickly being drained from my brain.
Hopefully, we'll detach this thing from our ship here in a second, and we'll go on to watch good bad movies.
I'm still on the fence on whether or not this movie's enjoyable as a bad movie. I can't explain this. Like, this is the most uncomfortable I've been with. Do I like this or do I absolutely hate this? I can't tell.
Wow. Okay. Well, here we're gonna leave it. Let's go ahead and jump into our rating system.
Okay.
Guys, if you're new to our show, or maybe it's been a while and you've forgotten, the way we rate things is very simple. We got top shelf, which is I need to own this movie. I want to physically own this thing. Middle shelf, maybe if it's streaming, I'll watch it. Bottom shelf, probably won't watch it ever again. Dumpster fire is our final level. I will actively try to keep people from watching this movie. It is thrown into the dumpster fire and burned from existence. And to our knowledge, no film has ever made it into this. There are rumors of a Avatar: The Last Airbender movie at one point in time, but I think that guy just lost in production. I don't think I ever made it.
I don't think that's a thing, my guy.
Yeah.
I think they were talking about the TV show that they did on.
That's maybe it. Yeah. Back in the 2008 era. So, all right, John. Since you're on the fence, I would love to hear you talk through your rating. What are you going to give?
Actually, while you were talking through the rating system, I think I know how to rate it. I don't necessarily know if I'm off the fence yet, but I know how I'm going to rate it.
Okay.
Just going purely based off of logic, like almost like a logic diagram, the descriptions of the actual rating system, I would feel the most appropriate rating I could give this would be a middle shelf. And the reason why is because there's a part of me that wants to watch this again with a group of guys on a couch and a bevy of junk food in front of us. Like, get you, me, Bam, and Kevin with a bunch of sugary, caffeinated snacks and watch this movie. I think it could be a very good time. But I could also see it going sideways and having the what's it called? The opposite effect. There's a medical term for it, but it's escaping me. Where the inclusion of that many more people, the inclusion of that many more people might make it that much more worse. So,
yeah.
But it's an experience. I would be curious to see how it panned out. So the lowest I can give it is a middle shelf. Like, legitimately, like, there are circumstances by which I'm like, if those circumstances are met, I'm going to watch this again just to see what happened.
Okay. All right. So you're giving it a middle shelf.
No, low middle shelf.
Low middle shelf. This is where I'm at. It's not a good movie.
Oh, no.
At all.
Oh, no.
That said, let me tell you how this movie could be saved. One,
it accepts Jesus as its Lord and Savior.
Mystery Science Theater 3000 could save this film. And if this had been a web series, if they had chopped this up into a fascinating web series, you get 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, break it up, create some sort of extra lore behind it, that could save this movie. If it wasn't for the fact that we experienced an 1.5-hour film in pseudo real time. Like, I would have been okay with some of this if I was watching a web series and there was a break between certain things, because mentally I'm watching this 2 days later. It makes sense for so much things to take place in this span of 2 minutes. However, we don't have it in that format. But you bring up an interesting proposal of the middle shelf if you have a crew. So here is my proposal, John.
Okay.
Let's give this a tentative middle shelf.
Okay.
And the next time we have the opportunity to have a group viewing, you, me, Branson, whoever else, next time, because you're coming in a couple months to
Tentatively.
Next time we have an opportunity to do this together, let's put that to the test. Let's have a movie night where we watch this dog water film and let's see if it redeems itself. And if not, I say dumpster fire.
Okay.
So a tentative middle shelf.
Okay. So I'm just going to reach up here and tie this. There we go. So I have the movie hanging about the level of where the middle shelf would be, just above the dumpster fire. So it's easy just to cut that string.
The flames are licking the plastic as we speak.
Yeah.
Right.
It smells like the Fog remake.
That is this day, my favorite video that the Dapper Man ever put out was him lighting that stupid Fog movie on fire. Oh, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is a tentative middle shelf for us here at the bottom shelf. We want your thoughts. Subject to change. We want your thoughts on it. Reach out to us. Hit us up in the Discord. Hit us up on social media, Facebook and Instagram. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for
This is a Weak Connection.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Weak Connection. This is the part where we take a look at these terrible films and find something redemptive to point you back to the hope of love and Jesus Christ. John, do you have a Weak Connection?
I do, but I'm kind of shooting from the hip right now, Dallas.
Okay.
Because it just kind of came to me while you were just talking right this second. So it's not so much a weak connection as an exhortation I can pull from this movie.
All right.
And a piece of scripture that I literally am just pulling out of the air and I can't remember the address. So maybe if you can help me, Pastor Dallas. But
what's the scripture?
Do all things as unto the Lord.
I know what you're talking about. It is Colossians 3:23-24. Whatever you do, work heartily as unto the Lord, not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance of your reward. You are serving the Lord Christ.
All right. So I made a joke earlier when Dallas said, I know what could have saved this movie. And I said, it accepts Jesus as its Lord and Savior. And that was funny. But in the same sense, as Christians, we are called to live to a higher standard, and everything we do needs to be done to the glory of God. Word. Now, I'm not here to say that anybody who made this movie is or is not a Christian. That's none of my business. I don't know them. What I can say is that, if somebody were to say that, hey, I worked so hard on this movie for the glory of God, I'd say, I would inspect my relationship with God if that was your intention to bring glory, because that seemed more like I did what I felt was good enough to get this out the door. So if I can encourage anybody with this movie, it would be do all things for God's glorification, because we are his representation in this world. Don't put out a war of the worlds.
Yeah, don't do that, guys. Do things with excellence. Doesn't have to be perfect, but do things with excellence.
Excellence?
Yes. I like it.
Well, Pastor Dallas, now that we caught my shooting from the hip.
Yeah, so mine is coming from, there was a moment in the film where Ice Cube is talking to his daughter, and he's basically trying to apologize for being an absentee helicopter parent. And she goes, the problem is you think you can do everything. And she goes, you can't. And that's the thing where we have this mindset that everything we do, we've got to do it all. Like whatever the process is in our life, we got to make sure that we're doing everything, because otherwise it's not going to get done. But that's not really how things work. Let me put my Bible verse here real quick. I've lost it. Hold on one second. Okay, here we go. Psalm 127, verse 1. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. And it's short and sweet, but points out the simple thing of you can put your hand in some stuff, but the Lord's not in it. He's not leading you. He's not guiding you. He's not taking part in the process. It's going to be in vain. And that's a hard truth to accept for folks. There's a lot of people like, I can do all this stuff. And you can.
I can do all things through a verse taken out of context.
Yeah, basically. But that verse itself, I can do all things through Christ who empowers me. That whole thing is talking about how Paul's imprisoned and he's talking about he can handle everything. He can handle the hard times because
a better translation says, I can endure all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Exactly. And so, but it's this whole reliance on the Lord. And again, in the movie Ice Cube, he's trying to do it all and to take care of his family. And again, I appreciate the intentions, but he's stepping out on things he shouldn't be stepping out into. And with whatever you have happen in your life, you need to present it to the Lord. You need to give him the opportunity to guide it. And I understand it gets frustrating because you're like, well, it's not the way I want it though. Or it's like, it's not the way you expected. Earlier tonight, we had our Play and Pray on the Twitch and YouTube channel. And we were actually talking about this. John the Baptist came to Jesus and he's like, hey, are you really the Messiah? Because he's been in jail for a year and he was expecting Jesus to start overthrowing the government a year ago. And Jesus is like, look at what's taking place.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just correcting his views. Like, it's not the way you expected it to, but you have to trust that I'm going to handle it the way it needs to be handled and it will be better. And so it's a hard lesson. It's a hard thing to take it. And it sucks at times because you're like, I want this now. Or you're like, this really hurts right now. But you have to trust the process that he's walking through all the way through. That is my weak connection.
All right. All right. Well, how about you guys out there in listener land? Do you have some thoughts on this? Please share them with us at the Geek Devotions Facebook group, The Devoted Geeks.
Devoted Geek Life.
Devoted Geek Life. I apologize. I am bad at that. I'm not in there as much as I used to be because I'm busy hanging out over on the Geek Devotions Discord.
Word.
Where I am a moderator and generate plenty of content. So come join us, hang out, talk to us about movies, maybe request some movies because our time off has completely derailed our previous plan for this year. So right now,
shot it in the foot.
Right now, our schedule is pretty wide open. So,
hey, do you want to do Gumby? That's what Cellcast is doing right now.
I'm good. Cellcast can just keep Gumbo over there by himself. But that being said, we want to thank you so much for hanging out with us. Go like, rate, and subscribe on whatever platform you are listening to us on.
Yeah.
Check out geekdevotions.com. That is where our home on the World Wide Webs. And you can find other fantastic and articles about that geeky stuff that you like. And who knows, you might find another favorite podcast there as well. Did I get everything, Captain
I think
Dallas?
So.
All right.
I think get all.
Well, with that being said then, thanks everybody for tuning in and hanging out. We're trying to get back on schedule with this now that things have settled down some. So until next time, stay devoted.
Peace and love.